Welcome back to your daily basketball recap. My name is Levi Jacob. So there's a couple things I want to talk about today, but the primary one is there's a lot of discussion about LeBron James and his role on the Lakers, and especially after seeing Luka Doncic traded in the last year. What really is an untradeable player, and what does that look like? I'm going down a list of the top NBA players at the moment, and I do think that there, in a way, because of the Doncic trade, is no such thing as an untradeable player anymore. Um, for example, okay, so let's go through the list and I'll give my thoughts on the first 15. All right, Jokic. I think that Nikola Jokic going into this season likely is untradeable. They're trying to build everything around him. This is post fact when they you know were commenting about the ownership made some weird comments about Nikola Jokic at the time, and everyone was like, don't do that. Thankfully, they backed off. And Nikola Jokic is likely untradeable because he's basically a whole team, right? Like he's he leads the Nuggets in everything. he he is everything for the Nuggets. So he's likely untradeable. SGA, he just won the MVP. The Thunder are in probably the best position that they've been in throughout their franchise's history, even at this point, having all these players they just gave extensions to. I think at this point in time, just also because of how the Thunder operate, I do think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is untouchable. I'm trying to think. I mentioned this in the last video. Um, if the Spurs, for example, called about if the Thunder wanted to trade SGA for Victor Wembanyama, I think they'd at least have the discussion because he's literally potentially the best prospect in how many years and will be the best prospect for how many years. Like, we are talking about a guy that it would be really difficult not to win multiple NBA championships with. So I think at the very and SGA is 27 and Victor Wembanyama is 21, 22. I think that at least think about it. So at the end of the day, I do think that SGA is untradeable, untouchable, but it would they would at least merit a discussion. Giannis, I think that he's tradable at this point in time, especially with how the Bucks are. I think that he's tradable. Luka, we didn't think that Luka was tradable, and then he was traded. Now there's almost no chance that the Lakers would trade Luka Doncic, unless again the Spurs called with Wemby, and even then, I don't know. Luka is not that he's better than SGA, but just how the Lakers value him. Especially with all of his, Today's Show in shape business now. He's a big buff guy. I don't think that the Lakers are trading him. I think that he is untradeable. Steph Curry. I think that the Warriors would respect his wishes if he wanted to be traded and he wanted to try to win one last ring. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's possible. Um, I don't think that he's untradeable. I think that they would want him to stay there, obviously, but if he wanted to go somewhere else, I think that they would respect his wishes. I don't think that he would. Especially at this point in his career, they put together so many absolute trash teams over the course of his career at certain points. They put together some of the best as well, obviously, but some of those teams were really terrible. And they were like, listen, just one more year, Steph. And he's still playing at this incredible level. Anthony Edwards, please make that man untradeable. Tyrese Halliburton, also Kings. You fumbled the bag on this one, man. Donovan Mitchell, definitely, I think, is tradable. Jalen Brunson, I don't think that the Knicks could trade him, man. He's he just means too much to New York. Like, even if they don't win a championship, but even with that last year's run to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think there'd be riots in the streets in New York if they traded Jalen Brunson. Jason Tatum, I think that he is tradable. I think that Boston likes him. I just think that there are players that would bring in more box office for the Celtics that I think that the Celtics would contemplate, especially now that he's injured. I think that he is tradable. I don't think that they should trade him, but I think he's tradable. Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, don't trade that man ever. This is one of the big ones. LeBron James. This is what prompted the whole discussion. LeBron James, in my mind, is it possible the Lakers trade him? Unfortunately, yeah. Should they? And realistically speaking, with who he is, should they trade him? No. He's LeBron frickin' James. Like, name me. I know people are like, oh, well, he's not the same LeBron that he was. He's really good. He's still really, really good at basketball. People really underrate LeBron James still. Um, I just like he's 40. Obviously, that's the difficulty of the value. Maybe that's why you would say that he's tradable. But aside from that, I just wouldn't. You know, at this point in his career, even at 40, he's in my eyes still one of the most effective players. If you wanted to actually have a chance of winning the NBA championship, you just can't count him out. You can't, even at 40. I mean, again, with at the very least with the team that he has right now. So I just don't think that he would be traded. But Luka was traded, you know. Anthony Davis, definitely tradable. Definitely tradable. Kevin Durant, he literally just got traded. Kawhi Leonard, yeah. Yeah. I think if the Clippers could move off Kawhi Leonard for it doesn't even have to be younger, but more healthy star, I think that they would do it. I want to do 15, but let's just push a little. Let's go 20. Cade Cunningham. Definitely don't trade him. Definitely do. I think that he has future MVPs in his career. I don't trade him. Evan Mobley. I think you could trade Evan Mobley. Again, you know, most of the players ahead of him on this list, who I said were untradeable, by the way, um, like if they call about like Anthony Davis, yeah, Jason Tatum, a lot of these players, like a lot of these players who I said were potentially tradable, I think that you would, I think it'd be a discussion about Evan Mobley. He's 23. He's had a very good career so far. He's played excellent defense. He has a lot of room to grow in his potential and everything like that. But the right package, I really think could absolutely get it done. Karl Anthony Towns, definitely tradable. Just has too many lapses on offense and defense. He's a good player. When he's playing with his head on straight, he's great. That's not enough of a percentage of the time. Devin Booker, my personal opinion, I think he is tradable. Lastly, Jalen Williams. I think with if the current iteration of the Thunder is what stands, if the team is how it is right now, I don't know another player that they could trade for that would give them the same value as Jalen Williams. He's him being able to do everything and play defense on like meaning his defense isn't the best in the league, his offense is the best in the league, but both of them are very, you know, they're high up there in regards to rankings as far as offense and defense. So the versatility that it gives them, the flexibility that it gives them, I don't think any other player in the league really offers in the same way. Um, and at the price point also, at least for now, because he's a you know he stayed home. So I don't. Again, I'm a Thunder fan. I don't think he's tradable. Again, based off of how everything is right now, I don't think he's tradable. I don't think he's tradable. I think he's kind of untouchable for them. Personally, I think that Chet, if we're talking about the Thunder, I think Chet is more of a discussion. I love Chet. I think he's going to be a great NBA player on both sides of the floor, and I think he's going to help them. Like really, like I think that his development is ultimately what's going to be the make or break on a dynasty or not. Um, because even from year one to year two, you saw the difference in play. And even in year two, you saw, you know, throughout the playoffs, the inconsistency that kind of goes away usually when you get more reps. Um, but he's 7 feet and very skinny. I don't think he's ever going to be the one to put on like crazy amounts of muscle and create more stability for himself. Maybe he'll get on like the Wemby training plan, you know, with all this the stabilization and whatever, because uh, you could use it at 7 feet tall, obviously. Um, like, you know, out of all these players, I think that he's on OKC. I think that he's the one that you could see having like will he, won't he the most. So yeah, I think that's why he's not ranked higher than Jalen Williams on this list. So that's all. I just wanted to go through and see what players in my mind were actually untouchable. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I got any of them wrong. I'm sure that there are people who are going to think that I got a lot of these wrong, but please let me know. Let me know how your list would look. What would be different? Who you would put in this 20 above who? Let me know everything. I want to know everything and anything. That was your daily basketball recap. Please like and subscribe. I want to thank you, Max, for producing. I want to thank you, Shlomo, for being just the best. Thank you for being the best. And I want to thank you for listening and watching. And I want you all to have a great rest of your day.